Welcome back to the Remotely Successful series. I'm Brian Liebold, and in this new reality of being forced to work from home, the goal of this series is to point you, as a leader, in the right direction. There are certainly more in-depth guides available, and I encourage you to seek them out. What we are trying to do in this series is highlight the important things you need to consider. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes yet, please go ahead and check them out. So let's be honest, working from home is hard, especially if you did not have the time to prepare and take a strategic approach. Now, I've worked remotely and led remote teams for years, so I'm going to share some of the things that I've learned. And in this video, we're going to talk about communicating effectively. When you and your team left the office, the way you communicate fundamentally changed. Now, the video conferencing technologies we talked about in the last video, they only solve part of your problem, the human connection piece. Your communication needs, however, go well beyond that. So email alone will not get you through this. With my remote teams, email was reserved for communication outside the organization, and we moved to a chat-based system for all of our inter-team communication. Now, if you are an Office 365 subscriber, Microsoft Teams will cover you for this, so you can use that. However, one tool that I like and have used extensively is called Slack. Let me give you a quick tour of Slack. Now, Slack, like most chat-based systems, are divided into what's called channels. These channels allow you to pre-sort the topic of the conversations. This allows you to focus quickly on the topics that are relevant and important to you and ignore the noise for the time being. So here you can see the channels for this group that I'm a part of. I can see that there are some unread messages, and when I have time or if this is of interest to me, I can always click in and take a look at that. If I look at channels and then browse channels, what you'll see is a whole bunch of channels that I am not a part of. What's great about this is I can keep them hidden so they don't steal my focus or get me distracted. That's one of the things I really like about having a chat-based system. Now, with most chat-based systems, there will be a channel called random or general or even social. And this is where the jokes, the family vacation pictures, all the cat videos, they go right here in the random channel. Again, that just separates the things that you don't need to focus on so that you can hit them when you've got the free time. So these are some of the things that I really like about using a chat-based system. It's pretty easy to use. You'll see that there's one reply to this one. Let me go to this channel called Delivering Value Continuously. And you'll see that this one has 17 replies. So this is the original poster. I can click on these 17 replies and see all of the conversation that happened around this. Now you'll see some of these are quite long form, and I think this one's actually got some very long form stuff. So these are not short messages. You're not confined to a set number of words or characters. You can be as verbose as you want, really, or as you need to be. So what these chat-based systems do is really enable you to focus. You can segment out the topic of conversation, so you only look at what you need to look at the time, and you can even hide the things that you would find distracting and then come back and look at them when you need to. So Slack is a great chat-based system that you can use. It is one that I've used extensively, and it is one that I would recommend. Now, you're probably wondering why you would want to move to a chat-based system instead of email. Now, for me, there are two big benefits. As I mentioned, first, you can easily separate what's important to you right now and focus. So in email, it kind of all comes in and you have to spend time figuring out what's important. With chat, it's simplified. The second reason I like chat is by communicating in channels, you can be sure that everyone who needs the information can see it. One of the greatest challenges of email is making sure you have the CC list correct. And if someone joins the company next month, they'll most likely never see that communication. If you post it in a channel, they can always go back and read it. The search functions are fairly robust, so you can easily find what you need to find in these chat systems. So using a system like Slack or Teams is only the first part in solving the new communication challenges that you have. As a team, you will need to learn some new communication disciplines as well. Now, for my remote teams, I set up a daily 15-minute check-in, and this really helped us to get on the same page every day. Let's talk about meetings. One of the first things I see in organizations that move to working remote is the calendar quickly gets filled with video calls. It's kind of like the organization overcompensates for the lack of presence by making everyone sit in front of a camera all day long. As a leader, please don't let that happen. Keep your meetings few and well structured. Make sure they have a clear objective and agenda. Now, you will need to allow time at the beginning for people to just talk and feel connected, but then you'll need to move the meeting along. Please don't have meetings just to relay information. Reserve this valuable face time for actual discussion, and make sure you give people all of the information they need before the meeting so they can come prepared and ready to discuss. So in place of meetings, I would recommend that you take the time to write out your thoughts and communicate in a transparent way by putting it in a channel versus sending it out in email, so that others can join the conversation. Give meaningful discussions the necessary amount of time to develop and unfold. Then the entire conversation will be there for others and as a reference for the future. Also, never expect or require someone to get back to you immediately unless it's a true emergency. The expectation of immediate response is toxic. Rushing to judgment or demanding immediate responses only serves to increase the odds of poor decision making. In this paradigm of working remotely, the technology available can make you just as effective as you were before, but it takes some effort and some adjustment in how you communicate. Well, I hope you found something of value in this video. If you'd like to connect or ask some more questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or Facebook. I'd love to continue the conversation.